Okay, and we got ignition.
Wow.
That's great.
Okay, our distributor was a problem.
Yeah, definitely. That's nuts. Listen to that thing.
Like straight away.
That's nuts. Right off the choke.
Oh. I had it. That's incredibly low. There we go.
That's crazy.
That's just crazy. All right, so one of the first things we need to get done is we were trying to start this thing, and on the last video, and after like a couple minutes of trying to get it to run, and it was like half running and blah blah blah, all of a sudden this line here started spitting fuel out, like pressurized fuel. The fuel pump just started sucking fuel from the tank, and I don't know if you could see it or not, but it's all stained down in here because it just shot fuel, old stinky fuel out of it. So that's telling us that there is liquid fuel in the tank. The fuel pump works and is pulling suction all the way through. This thing, what we guess is that possibly whoever sold this vehicle to the gentleman that we bought from their estate, his estate, we're guessing that he bought it from somebody that probably did kind of like we do, where they kind of fixed the car up they found and got it lot drivable and then sold it to him. The engine seems like it's not original, blah blah blah. But what we did notice is that the tank on the car, I know it's going to be hard to see here, but the tank, there you go, the tank is shiny black paint, and everything else under the car is either greasy or surface rusted. So they must have put a new tank in this thing just to get it going and, you know, make it lot drivable. Has coolant in it, you know, and so on and so forth. So we're going to try and pull the drain out of the tank. Fingers crossed it will work. If not, we're going to have to probably just see if we can mix some good fuel with bad fuel and work it through the engine. But if we can get that to drain out, we'll really be in business. So that's the first thing. We're going to do that outside, and then we'll get all the wiring and battery and stuff hooked up and see if we can take this thing around the yard, which will be incredible. This is probably the scariest looking part of the car, is like pieces of trunk falling off.
Yeah.
Trunk floor is falling on Steve's arm. Got it? There you go.
All right.
Nope.
Nope. Not gonna happen.
That's gonna rip the fitting out.
Yep. Not gonna happen.
I did that on a car one time. Tank didn't leak, trying to drain it. I pushed too hard on that fitting, and then it started turning the fitting out, and then the tank leaked.
Oh,
Yeah, so we know better. All right. Well, yeah, I think your idea is good. If we run the car next to the big truck and hook a fuel line to that pump, we can try and pump at least some of the old shitty gas out, and then we'll just fill it up and see what happens.
Yep.
All right, so we got this. Used to be the overflow bottle in Big Red, a like apple juice jar or something, cranberry juice jar. Don't ever throw anything away. Now it's going to be a fuel delivery bottle. So we're gonna, since the fuel pump was pumping, we're gonna try and shove a hose on there and see if we can get. We'll run the engine on the fuel we have and rev it up some, and hopefully we'll pump some of that crappy fuel out of there.
Yeah.
That would be too convenient. All right. Give it some
Ready?
juice there.
Contact.
Oh. Make sure we're in neutral and we don't
Yeah.
get run over, because it starts so easy. Damn, we can't even get the cable off there. See what happens here.
There it goes. Oh,
Come on, man.
That is ugly.
Let me move the camera here.
Yeah.
Zoom in on your hand.
Oh, that is ugly.
They coming out a little bit? Not yet.
When you rev it up, there it is.
Shot with everything in there.
This thing might be almost empty.
There must not be much in the tank.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing here.
All right. I think we just need to put some good fuel in it and see what happens.
I think you're right.
I like that idea. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's, oh, there we go. That is like straight up just, when the fuel turns black, that's like one step from being solid. So we just got through this with the Model A that we rescued where the tank was all varnished and whatever. So we're gonna have to run some fuel through it and it's gonna have to help dissolve the
It's gonna have
junk.
to clean itself out.
So we're gonna put a little fuel filter from the pump and before the carb, so we don't have the carb clogging up, and put some gas in the thing. And I mean, it was obviously pumping fuel, so we'll go with it. All right.
It actually doesn't look terrible. You could still see some galvanizing inside the pipe
Oh
there.
yeah, it's still painted.
Yeah.
They might have put a new filler neck on it too while they were at it.
True. Yep.
Makes sense. All right, so we're gonna pour a couple gallons, 2-3 gallons of fuel in, and put you on the stand here, and we will see what happens. This is wild today. Less than a week ago, it was.
Right. This week.
We were like filling up the gas tank.
Right. Less than a week ago, this car was a shed.
Yeah. It was a raccoon condo.
Yeah.
It's got to be at least a gallon or two.
There we go.
Okay, hook up our fuel filter and see if it'll run on its own. All right, we're gonna see what happens.
Ignition.
Should have enough fuel to crank it and fire.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it'll stay. See if we can get fuel. Might run out of fuel. Come on, baby. There it goes.
Yeah, it was going pretty good.
Hopefully we'll get enough to get the engine some. Looks to be pumping pretty good now.
Yeah, you can see it flowing in.
And it doesn't look that terrible. So it must have been almost basically out of gas.
I think it was, yeah.
Well, probably what's going to happen is like that A, where when it sits, it's going to start dissolving the varnish.
Yep.
And you'll get black fuel.
It's going to end up looking even uglier after a little while.
Yeah, let it sit for a couple hours and it'll probably be like really gross. I mean, you can already see the gas is discolored just from quickly putting a gallon in it.
Freaking amazing.
Cool. Well, I think now we get a battery and then we drive it around the
It's
yard.
time for a battery and a couple of wires. See what happens.
Yep. Hillbilly Roadster, here we come. All right, so we got a solenoid. The solenoid ended up being bad, and we just recently got a box of new old stock solenoids of all different types somewhere. This one has the cool little button in the bottom that you can hit to start the car, so that kind of bypasses our need for a starter switch in the car for the time being. I found a spring for the throttle here because it was broken, and then we had found a gas pedal on one of our recent bunch of NOS gas pedals. So we threw the crappy old floorboard we found in the bottom of this thing in and just bolted a pedal up. So we have a gas pedal. We have a return spring. So now we're gonna test, make sure our solenoid and battery and all that stuff works as it should.
Let's see if we start.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
That won't let it start.
No, that will not be good. Ready?
There it goes. I must have the throttle turned way down. What do I have here? You want this?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good there.
It does. It does.
Good.
That is freaking.
There we go. Running on the gas tank, we're running on our battery. We just need a part number XYZ123 bungee strap to hold that in. Factory Ford part.
Yep.
Our fuel filter setup is working. Fuel pump's pumping still. Great. So all we need need to do is we're going to wire up a jumper wire to the factory ignition switch here, hopefully, if this thing is okay. And then we can take it around not the neighborhood. We'd never do that. Not on the street.
No,
we'll take it on in the yard here.
Be wrong.
Private property. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So one more wire, we're ready for our maiden voyage. Woo! All right, I think we're ready to take a ride. Moon. Hey, buddy. We'll go for a ride.
Go around the front.
We'll go for a ride. Go ahead. Go ahead, up on that seat. Go ahead. I know you haven't been. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead. Good boy. All right. Let's see what happens. All right, let's try the clutch. I put the visor up. That works. Not much left of our floorboard anymore. And that throw-out bearing does not sound happy.
No.
It might.
That's a little dry.
No brakes, no brakes. Let's see what happens. All right, get in, loser. We're going shopping.
That's it.
Yeah, that. It sounds a lot scarier. It sounds a lot scarier in the car with that throw-up bearing.
It does.
Just got to wear the rust off everything, and I mean the clutch works okay. It's a little chattery, but
Right.
here we go. Make the turn. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
You got it. You got it. Not by much, but you got it.
God, I didn't have brakes here. Well. Hopefully that throw-up bearing gets happier.
It'll loosen up a little bit.
A
Yeah.
couple heat cycles, it'll
Exactly.
be good.
Yeah.
Let's see what horrors we find.
Kind of nasty. It's hiding down there.
I think the first thing we need is the air nozzle,
Oh yeah.
and we'll blow the frame and. All right, so we're gonna walk around the front here and see what we see with our light. We can see that there's gonna be packing peanuts in this thing everywhere.
Yeah.
Very, very crusty. They're
Yep.
above the spring.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Oh yeah, there's one up in here.
They apparently make good nesting material.
Yeah. Doesn't look too bad. You can see the color of that engine. That's like a later engine color. Looks like they didn't even bolt that cover on for the all the bolts are missing
Yeah.
out of the cover on the sides for the but this is a truck pan. That's a two-piece pan. They're actually really nice. You can get to the clutch by just removing this cover, not having to remove the whole oil pan. Obviously some plastic and crap from, you know, animals and whatever else. So, oh, they had water on it, gross. So yeah, so there's all kinds of packy peanuts we have to blow out. The frame is crusty. I mean, it's not rotten, but it's definitely not rusty. I mean, you could see it's pretty scaly here because it was sitting on that dirt floor, which does not do it good. I mean, probably surprised. Floors look original and unpatched from what I could see. I don't know if you see anything, Steve.
I don't see anything, no. They look like original floors.
Yeah, I don't see any patches. And then you could see the horrors come in. Basically, when you get to the trunk here, there's holes there, and it gets worse. That's our milk crate there that's showing up. And then in the back here, it's just like the horror. Mm-hmm. So trunk floor in the back of here is rotten as can be, which kind of stinks because they put a gas tank in it, but they didn't fix that. But like we think, even that exhaust looks like it was kind of new.
Yeah, you can see
You still see the silver like it was just surface rusted. Oh yeah, look at the freaking muffler. They probably put a new muffler and exhaust on it, didn't fix the rust, and just maybe they took it to Hershey or Carlisle or something.
Yeah, 'cause there's new bolts in here and stuff.
Oh yeah. And those are like, are those body bolts or what are they? I don't know.
Not sure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of odd. And you can see it's been converted to tube shocks. It has some kind of welded on homemade bracket here that they fit on it. Just normal stuff you've seen on old cars. The old shocks went bad, so they went to the tube shocks. And it's just crusty, and you can see like the fenders have a bunch of coats of paint on them. At some point apparently it was white. So maybe the whole car was white at one point. We don't know because there was some sprayed on white. Oh yeah, look. All over spray up inside the fenders. It's white over the black. So who knows what somebody did to this thing? I don't know. Maybe some kid sprayed the wheel wells white because he thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Got her. That's why my handbrake wasn't working. That's just got cloth tape holding the broken cable, and the wiring's pretty sketch as expected. But you can see they got a new piece of copper fuel line.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That
Must
they
have
ran.
changed that when they put the tank in.
And that's why we got lucky and we were able to pull fuel. So fuel line goes all the way up through. It's in great shape. I don't see anything corroded or weird on it. So I think we're gonna work on getting the underside all blown out and brushed off and get all the cobwebs and junk off the bottom, and then we'll start assessing what else needs to be done on this thing or addressed for it to be maybe driven on the street. Maybe get the hood back on it so that it can open and shut. It did latch. So if we do all that stuff, at least the car is kind of a little more complete. We don't have it scattered all over the garage, which we already have about 600 projects with parts scattered all over the garage. Here and here and here. Another one over there. So yeah, this one we're going to try and, since it's just getting tossed together just to make it complete, we're going to throw those parts on. All right, so I was out of the shop the other day and Steve started working on the brakes on this thing, got it pulled apart. He actually found it's got like brand new, basically somebody was restoring or redoing the front brakes. They're like brand new. You could see that they like reshoed some original Ford shoes here. The wheel cylinders were like new, which we'll show you in a second. The backing plates were like painted. So somebody had kind of redone the front brakes but never connected everything.
Yeah. The brake lines are brand new and the drums are brand new. Never used.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the
Look how
drums
thick
never
they are.
been used.
It's worth its weight in gold there.
Yeah, it is.
And then in the back, you said everything was kind of mismatched, and Steve was saying a lot of the shoes were backwards and messed up, and he had to hammer everything apart. So this stuff was kind of wrong, and it was old used stuff, so I guess they never got to the rear. So what he's working on is getting all the brake parts back together. We'll show you the wheel cylinders in the front here. Master cylinder looks new as well, but they didn't even have brake fluid in these. Steve found this, so you could see that how shiny or nice. You know, it's hard to see. The wheel cylinder is inside.
Yeah.
So it basically he's just been taking some steel wool just to clean any light residual stuff, but mainly it's just like the assembly grease they use that's dried up on there. So we can clean those up, reuse them. That's a win. And then we're gonna check the master cylinder and hopefully it's the same thing. And we'll start making up some brake lines, and this thing will be stopping, and then we can take it for a drive this week. Excited. All right, so Steve got the brakes together and adjusted. This is the master cylinder. It was underneath. It was not even connected, and there was some black paint on it. So Steve just started cracking this loose here. And
Let's see what we get.
see what the inside's looking like. I see fresh metal inside already.
Oh wow, yeah, that never had fluid in it either. Yeah, that's completely dry.
Yeah, so they put a bunch of new parts on and somebody ran out of steam during the brakes, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but hard to see, but you can see there's fresh, clean cast iron or whatever in there. So this thing has never had fluid in it either, so there's a good chance, we'll see, we can disassemble this and do the same thing that we did with the wheel cylinders in the front. Just clean them out and put it back together, and it should work. So
Okay.
work on taking this apart, and hopefully we can save some of these parts for being cheap asses this time around.
Yep.
All right. Boy,
That feels real nice. Yeah. That cleaned up perfect.
nice on the inside, shitty on the outside,
Yeah.
just like the car.
Hey, right, yeah.
All right, so Steve has been hard at work, and he's been saving these old brakes. So like we mentioned, he went through the wheel cylinders and cleaned them all up. Luckily, the fronts just needed a little bit of steel wool. Didn't even have to get the hone out, and put everything back together. He's got some fluid already in it. The master cylinder, there was a shot we had in there. All he did, and that's just a little leak from filling, but that was brand new, no fluid in it, so he actually ended up just running the hone through that to get it all back together, so that's good. And then you can see, I know it's a little rusty under here, but there is the NICOP brake line run all the way to the back. New lines in the front, which are hard to see. We ended up having to put new wheel cylinders in the back because they were really, really crappy. And yeah, so that's all put together. So we're ready to start bleeding, and hopefully this thing cooperates. Steve's already kind of worked on getting fluid to each corner, so now we can try and bleed it and see if we can get some brakes to actually work. Exciting stuff. brake. You may want to run just a single screw on the floorboard connected on the brake.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yep.
Should we take it to the gas station?
Yeah, I think we're being a bit brazen here. We've taken it around the yard with one bolt in the steering box, no brakes, and it did have a gas tank running fuel. So now we have brakes. The steering box is bolted in. Steve did a good job of noticing that because we had one bolt that was like finger tight. That could have been bad. So I guess, I mean, we have no gauges. We're hoping, I mean, we know the flathead, even if it's cracked, will run for 6-7 minutes before it starts overheating to the moon. So I think we can get to the gas station in around 4 to 5 minutes. So
We'll be fine.
we should be fine if it's shooting cooling out of the
As long as we go up that way, because if it overheats, it's downhill the rest of the way.
It's true. The stoplight thing is a slight problem, but
We can go around it.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We always do. I put a little bit of fuel in it so we don't run out for once, because we only had like 1.5 gallons, and yeah. So yeah, let's get in and let's see what happens. Somebody can ride in the back. Somebody can ride in the front.
Come on, Steve. Let's go for a ride.
We're close enough. We can all walk back.
She's so defeated.
The rest of the video is just the three of us walking, walking home.
Walking back, walking back.
Oh man, the seat springs are very
It's weird being able to stand up in the back seat of a car.
All right, are you guys ready for how easy this thing starts? It's crazy.
It's magic.
Can't even hear it like running.
Steve, you look like you're on a couch back there.
I am kind of. I'm like all settled in.
I can barely see Steve.
I bet this car's pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Steve, another one.
Big open floorboard.
Yeah, the floorboard is in the back, but you didn't get that option. The throttle bearing's not. It's still warming up.
It's got to get loosened up.
Heat cycles.
As Steve would say, it needs some heat cycles.
Yep.
So we aren't going to let it warm up because we don't know if it'll what it'll do.
This is fun. I never get to go on these joy rides.
Yeah, that's why I called you. I was like, you might enjoy. Oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, we did make a fender mount because I was afraid of. Oh God, what is? I heard that once before.
Oh, when you first started out, yeah.
This is one of the more frightening ones because it's been sitting like, and it was like half put back together. So now that the steering box thing came up,
You guys, at least you knock the door pins in. Don't have to worry about the doors falling off.
I did do that. Yes, I'm not a total heathen.
Yep.
Here we go, second gear.
Oh man, should have worn the mat.
You're getting everything back
Oh
there.
man, it's getting a face full here.
At least Steve's already sick. We don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm definitely gonna need a piece of face cover.
Oh my God, there's so much stuff flying around inside.
Sorry, Steve. I kind of knew that was going to happen. That's why I sat up front.
Yeah, I knew it.
I was just playing I'm the camera guy. I got to sit up front.
All right, here we go. The trans actually shifts really. I don't know what just went by my face.
Oh yeah, we just hit the right speed. Here it comes again.
There is so much shit there. Hold it up.
Stay leaning back or you're gonna lose your seat cover there, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta put a seat. We're gonna have to put a spring on that brake pedal because it catches a little bit.
Oh yeah, that would definitely help.
So what do you think so far?
It's not bad. I mean, I can't believe how quiet this engine is. Like, you can see, I'm starting to see the smoke coming off of it because all the it's never had this much heat in the engine. So who knows what's burning off of the engine from a million years. This has to look like the most ridiculous thing sitting on the street. Actually, can you see it in the window there?
A little bit.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I wonder if the motor's not bolted down all the way. That might be the engine lifting
Yeah,
up.
it might be. It's just when you let out the clutch there.
That kid was like, what the hell?
Put my safety glasses back on to keep the shit out of my eyes.
Yeah, you need goggles.
Or the trans is bolting down and it's the trans bouncing up.
Might be. All right, turn signal is, we're going left.
Turn signals.
We are going left. We're going left. Pull that brake pedal up. I think it's catching on the column actually. Might need to heat and bend the pedal a little bit. Ooh, that is, yeah, something's not bolted down all the way. I can.
I mean, this is the best way to find out is on test drive.
Mm-hmm, sure. Brakes work though.
They're not bad.
You might want to pull forward a little bit more. It's all the way at the back fender. It's a very, very long car.
Yeah, about.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just
Now we'll see if it starts again. That's the next problem we did not encounter. We didn't bring a jump box. We didn't bring anything.
Nope.
Not even a tool.
We brought a camera.
We brought a camera, and the only tool we brought was in the passenger seat. First fill up in we don't know how many years. This thing's been sitting at the previous property for, I don't know, it sounded like it was 30 or 40 years they've been sitting.
And we didn't do anything.
Yeah, all we did was just put gas in it.
Pretty much.
Somebody else did the hard work, put a gas tank in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna put some gas in it, put some more in it so that it dissolves the junk in the tank. That seems to have worked in other cars. We're gonna try it in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
And then we're gonna see if we can make it home.
Yeah, gentle on the shift. Smell that nasty old oil and gas and everything else burning up.
Yeah.
Yummy.
All right, turn signal.
Going that way.
Brakes aren't great.
No.
I mean, they're decent, but they're.
Oh, God.
Disappeared. I barely let the clutch out. That started something dumb.
Well, we don't want anything dumb falling off the car either.
We're within easy walking distance now. We're within pushing distance.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit heavier than the Model A though.
True.
Yeah, but we got 3 of us.
It's true. I can hold the camera, Mike. You can.
I kind of like this back here. It's kind of luxurious.
It's not bad, right? It's like pretty comfortable.
I was worried I was going to be getting a face full of wind, but the windshield actually kind of pushes the air up over.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty
You
good.
don't get a lot of breeze back there.
Thanks for driving me home, boss.
No problem.
Steering is pretty nice now that the steering box is bolted down.
I probably made it loading not too shabby. Is this going upstairs now?
Yeah, we got a space cleared out for it. It's done.
Done stand.
That's it. Send it. It's done.
I didn't bring my clicker. Oh, you know what? The clicker's in the driver's door, the 47 if you want to grab it.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I'm getting some definite. Definite smoke. It smells like rubber. What?
That is one hoopty looking old car. That one should be called a hoopty.
Cars that tend to behave, we put upstairs. That's the new rule. So this car very much behaved, and we put upstairs. No, seriously, it runs and drives really nice. It's kind of, and nice is relative to where it came from and how it's sitting. There's still bangs, squeaks, rattles. There needs to be like 30 years worth of junk just burn off the exhaust and everything else. So it's a stinky, dusty, old car, but it is definitely exciting to drive a car this quickly. Usually it takes us like weeks or months or years to get them on the road. And this one, you know, has only basically been like 2 weeks, almost to the day, that we are taking our first test drive, and I filled up the gas tank and it did fantastic. We even got caught in some traffic in my little town here at the main stoplight. The thing just sat and purred and idled and didn't skip a beat, and really, really happy about it. This is probably one of my most favorite things to do is, you know, first drive of one of these cars. It's really satisfying, and it's so fresh in our mind how recently we drug it out of, you know, the depths of a old building, sunken up to the, you know, almost to the rims in dirt, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm sure everybody's going to ask, what are our plans? So really the plan is, for a lot of these cars, is just to rescue them and kind of take this, what I call the scariness out of a lot of projects for people. And then some of them we do pass on, some of them obviously I keep. This car is a car that realistically we're going to pass on. I mean, when I bought it from the family, we kind of told them that up front, and it was a little less work than we expected, which is nice. So we're going to, you know, be passing this car along. The real question is, how much further do we take it before someone purchases it? At this point, I think it's in a fantastic spot where if you're a restoration guy and you want to take it all the way to perfect, shiny, restored car, this is one of the best examples you could ask for, because it's not super rotten. It needs a trunk floor. It probably could use a hood because this one's a little crappy, but all the major hard to find parts for this particular model are basically here for the car. So it'll make it a lot easier to restore, and you're not taking a car that is broken in half. You're taking a car that's all together, the doors open and shut, you know, it runs and drives. Or if you want to just get a car that you can just drive around, an old jalopy, and just have fun in, this is also the car. It's topless, which is even more fun. So I think it's at a good point where someone could take it any direction, and it's a good spot for us to pass it off to somebody. So that's my quick little sales pitch. If it doesn't sell by spring, we're going to basically put it all the way on the road and drive it next summer and have fun with it. And then maybe at Hershey or one of the shows next year, we'll see if we try a little harder to sell it. But for right now, I think it'll be a very affordable car for somebody with a literally turnkey car that you could rewire and do a couple more things, and you could have it on the road. So thank you guys for following along. Hope you're as excited as I am about this first drive in such a quick amount of time. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.